BlogTalk Radio.
We're expecting in this hour John Schlitt, and let's see if we can get John on the line. John, this is Rick with Life Lessons. How are you doing?
Hi, Rick. It's good to talk to you, buddy.
Well, good to talk to you, too. We appreciate you joining us on the show. Let me give a little bit of an intro to our listening audience. John was a member of Head East in the 1970s, then moved over to Petra Christian band, and is currently working on a new project titled The Greater Cause. He's a winner of 4 Grammys, 10 Dove Awards, and on October the 12th was inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Music Association Hall of Fame, and importantly is a member of the Gospel Music Hall of Fame. And we are so glad to have you on today's show and honored to have you. We've had many Grammy Award winners, but none that have had the same background and journey like yours, so it's nice to have you on board.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate your time, buddy. Thanks for your interest.
You bet. And if you would be so kind to tell our listening audience a little bit more about yourself. Where are you from originally, John, and what has driven you to work on your newest initiative, The Greater Cause?
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Central Illinois near Springfield. Got in the music scene in Champaign-Urbana, University of Illinois, which was really a haven for rock and roll back then. Became a Christian in 1980. Before that, I was with Head East for about 7 years. We did Plaza Pancake and 5 other albums after that before I left. And I'll have to say I didn't leave. I got fired because I became just basically fell for the same stuff that a lot of us do in that system, and got really messed up with cocaine and booze, and got to a point where I really wasn't that dependable, and the guys had to fire me.
And at pinnacle points like that, typically it ends up, when you look at the rearview mirror, it ends up being one of maybe the greatest pinnacle points of your life, I would suspect.
Actually, it was, buddy, because, I went on a bench for about 6 months, just fighting it all the way, and finally my wife became a Christian, and I said, no possible way. Fought it for 6 months, and finally said, walked in, totally fighting it, and came out as a Christian, and sort of changed, not sort of, absolutely changed my life, and got out of music for 5 years, thought I'd never sing again, and all of a sudden, one of the biggest Christian rock groups in the world called me up and said, would you consider singing for us? And by that time, I was a big fan of Petra's. And said, you got to be kidding me. This isn't really Petra. I said, no, seriously, would you consider singing for us? I said, absolutely. And after they said, well, don't you think you should pray about it? I said, okay. And 6 months later, I was on stage with them and was with Petra for 20 years.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing. During your time with Petra, can you tell us what one or two of your greatest life lessons from being on the road with the band, and how is that reflected in your work today? Well,
first of all, it was before Petra. When I became a Christian, it really did change my life amazingly. And I just saw a whole new outlook on life. Felt bad about what I had done with Head East. I mean, I had a fantastic opportunity to go on stage and have fun with the crowd. It got to a point, though, where I was just spouting every 4-letter word I could think of at the time, and I just felt like I really represented myself and and music in general in a very bad way. And when I discovered Petra and saw what they were doing, it's like, oh, man, I wish I could be in a band like that. And then God let me. And so I basically went out and tried my best to, try to recover all the stupidity that I did in the Head East days, and got an amazing chance all over the world. Saw amazing things happen by just being available. God's a big God, and I'll tell you what, he does amazing things despite us sometimes, And I got to see so many lives changed, and I just, I live with the real God in my case, and it was just amazing to watch. And again, I was just so amazed to see the 5 guys he used, and none of us were perfect. Trust me, none of us were perfect. And he still chose to use us. and watch, so many lives get changed, including our own.
I love that. Are you still married to this day?
Absolutely, 40 years.
Congratulations.
40 years, thank you. And that was 10 years during Head East, too. And I guarantee you, it should not have it should not have been carried through, because I was not a good guy. But I had a wife who absolutely was amazing, is amazing, will be amazing, I guarantee you. And she stuck with me, and I'm very grateful even today.
Well, one of the things we do on this show, John, is we always celebrate milestones like that. And celebrating your wife and your marriage, would you share, as if your wife were on the air with us right now, share with us what she would say is the greatest life lesson she's learned from you?
Oh, wow. I guess perseverance. The fact that I think she would say that I have a caring heart, and that she would say that probably I tend to really see the best in people, even though sometimes it's not deserved, but still it's one of those things that I think she really appreciates of me.
Thanks for sharing that. And vice versa, what has she taught you, and how can we turn that wisdom into advice for our young listening audience that is going into marriage today?
Okay, first of all, very, very trustworthy, very forgiving, very intelligent, an amazing partner. I tell you, when you're getting into marriage is, it's all exciting and everything in the beginning, and it is all actually for the rest of your life. But that first initial excitement of sexual excitement, this kind of thing, and then you realize, hey, we're good friends. And as time goes on, you realize the friendship is deeper than just the surface and the heart, and it gets deeper and deeper as it goes on, and it becomes a very, very important relationship that causes you to leave your mother and father. I mean, as the word says, you leave your mother and father to join with your wife, and that's forever. And it's an exciting adventure.
Indeed. And if you can have that kind of perspective and longitude, folks, that John and his wife have, you can grow over time together. You can grow to accept your own differences, count your blessings, and I think that healthy relationships are a hotbed for creativity and imagination as well. Has your marriage helped feed your creative soul from the perspective of keeping you fresh as a lyricist and a writer of music?
Well, I would say that being married to my wife has given me a peace that passes, that I don't have to worry that my wife is out causing me embarrassment. I know she's my treasure and the high point of my existence, and that gives a man a lot of peace. He can travel, he can do what he's supposed to do, and know that the home front's taken care of, which is a very confident way of living. Every morning we have a time together in reading and this kind of thing, and I just look over there and I just see how blessed I am every morning. It's a very confident and very reassuring type of way of living, and in that, it gives you that freedom to be able to venture into other thoughts and venture into ideas and realize that your home front is taken care of, and you can go out and discover other things.
Thanks for sharing that as well. And that's a huge lesson inside that your relationship with God provides that peace, understanding. If you can find the right mate, that best friend, how they can add to your happiness and contentment, and then allow you to stretch yourself creatively. And that's something that's never quite been expressed exactly like that before, John. I really appreciate that. We as men, we struggle a lot of the time for contentment and happiness, and having that quiet, peaceful soul makes such a difference.
Oh yeah, the word says the wife is either a jewel in your crown or an embarrassment in your life, and mine is a magnificent jewel, and it gives me again just I don't want to say a pride, but yes, it's a confident pride of knowing that I have a wife who represents me in an amazing way, and it's just how can you not be more encouraged, more peaceful, less just less hassle in your life, which gives you a freedom to.
Yeah, we have lost John. And, John, if you can hear me, please call back into our network at 646, and we will appreciate you joining us. That's 646-727-2255. We lost contact with John there momentarily. Hopefully he'll be right back with us. Let's roll into commercial while we wait for John to return. We want to thank our sponsors, Gracefully Yours greeting cards, for their tremendous support of Life Lessons. And you can buy Gracefully Yours greeting cards at your local Lifeway, Family Christian Bookstore, Mardel, most independent bookstores, and also on Amazon.com. And let's get John back on the line here.
I'm sorry, Rick.
Oh, that's quite okay. We were just about to go to commercial break anyway, and as we're in the groove to do that, John, tell our listening audience about how they can get in contact with you and learn more about your current music that you're creating.
It would be the easiest way would be johnwschlitt.com. I have a crew that takes care of pretty much keeping everyone totally abreast with everything that's going on at the time. Basically, pretty much a daily upgrade. So that's as much as a computer I feel has changed our lives totally. I'm finally getting used to it, and it's starting to be a very beneficial thing for me. And again, keeping everyone abreast of what's going on almost hourly.
Well, that is great. I thank you for that. I want to just thank our other sponsors, The Transformed Traveler. It's a great show. It's about traveling through and fully experiencing your five senses through travel. You can go to their new website, thetransformedtraveler.com. I think that they are now building it. And lastly, just want to recognize readsacrossamerica.org. That's the organization that we've talked about a lot on this show. They are putting wreaths on veterans' graves December the 5th. If you want to find out more information about how to volunteer to this great organization, you just go to readsacrossamerica.org to find out more information. Now back to John. Hey, having been born in Springfield, Illinois, and having Midwestern core values, do you see now at your graceful age of however old you are, let's say you're over 50.
Let's say I'm over 50 at least, yes.
Yes. Are you seeing now that your core values of being a Midwesterner are coming through in a stronger fashion?
Oh, absolutely. I feel that my Midwestern I think Christ-like. I really believe even back then, before I was a really bona fide Christian, I believed in God. Now, the God I was worshiping, I didn't really know His name, but I do now. And I think that comes from the Midwestern roots. I think it actually comes from a lot of America, and I think it's being attacked at this moment. So yes, absolutely, my roots are very dominant with me right now, especially my Christian roots, and I'm standing strong with them. So I don't think it could be understated with the fact that yes, my Midwestern roots are shining brightly.
Thank you for that. We have a caller here who wants to know about you when you were turning the corner. How did you put behind you being an egotistical musician in a rock band?
I couldn't say that better. Actually, I was in such a state that anything was better than where I was at the time. I mean, when I left Ted East, I was I was determined I was going to show them I didn't need them, and I went on a 6-month binge with the excuse of building a new band. And when I say I mean I was drunk or high pretty much 24 hours a day, which can be done. Trust me, it can if you're used to doing it all the time, and I was. And I was building this band with the idea that I was going to show Head East I didn't need them, they needed me, kind of thing. And at the end of it, I was so messed up that I contemplated suicide. And I mean, I came this close to suicide, and if it hadn't been for Christ, I would be dead today. So when you're that low, all of a sudden your ego is tossed right out the window because you want something different. I mean, when you get a second chance, the ego goes. I remember having a major meeting, making the announcement after I became a Christian that I was leaving the music business altogether. And my relatives, my uncles, my mom, everybody was there, and they're telling me, you can't quit. You're a rocker. You can't quit. You can't give up rock and roll. And I looked at it and said, yes, I can. And it was easier than you think. I mean, when you're in the bottom of the barrel, when you hit the lowest ebb that you possibly can without going to the grave, and then that's the next step, you'd be surprised how much you can give up.
It takes you to hit the bottom to look up sometimes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, and everybody has their bottom. I mean, some don't have to go as low as I did. Some have to go lower, if they can survive it. But, but it's, I don't want to say, yeah, you all need to go to your bottom before you, no. But it took me, especially because I was such a hard-headed, egotistical rock star. You're right. I mean, it was funny when you said that. I was like, yep, that was me. And it just, it took that much to get me out of that vein and realize there's something else to life besides my own ego.
Mm. And thus, the new title of your project is called The Greater Cause. Tell us about that album, and let's start with how many songs have you developed to narrow down to 12?
Actually, we're about 14. I think we have two or three more to write. This was supposed to be out by now, but my producer and I, we keep new people come into our lives that are fantastic writers saying, hey, we want to be part of this. So the time keeps going back and back. But we've got 2 or 3 more songs to write. And I believe that will cover it. We have amazing songs as we speak at this moment, covering pretty much everything I want to cover, except for a song for my wife. I haven't covered that yet, and so far the title cut has eluded me. So when you say the greater cause, especially as a Christian artist, it covers a lot. So I'm still not. I don't have a piece yet about what exactly that means to me yet. So. There's just so many options that could mean could have an amazing reference to that. So I'm still sort of working on that one, but we're getting close. We're getting very close. I'm very excited about the music as it is, and it covers a lot of gambit. It covers a little bit of politics and where I'm at. It covers absolutely the walk of my faith, and I think it sort of combines the two together.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you've called it The Greater Cause because it gives you this pretty big band of subjects that you can cover. And The Greater Cause is, it will be coming out, folks. We'll just create some pent-up demand here on our show.
And thank you for that, Rick. Thank you.
You can watch, on a daily basis, you can go to John's website, JohnWSCHLITT.com to track what's going on. And when you are building an album like this, and you've got such a variety of subjects to cover, how do you go about, you and your producer, How do you go about picking the number one song and the last song that you hear?
Oh, there is no set idea. It just sort of happens. That's probably one of the hardest things to formulate, and I never try. I've never tried to formulate what's going to be the hit song, what's not. Even when I do a set, when I put a set together and I use a band, I have to hear the band play every one of the songs to find out which one resonates to them, to find out, just how it fits in the scheme of things. And that's the same thing with a record. You have every song you love. If you don't, you shouldn't be doing the song in the first place. But you never know how they're going to fit together until they're all there. You listen to the total package, and you say, this is going to work. This works better than this one only because of that. And you just look at a CD as a full package, not just a bunch of songs.
Sure. We've got one caller here who wants to know if you can tell us about the Grafting.
Oh, the Grafting was my third solo CD. It was done about 3 years ago. The title cut, there's a video that just came out with the title cut. Done amazing. It's on the YouTube, and it's a beautiful video, a great song. The album has been a blessing to me, and I'm still not done with it. It's on my own label, and I'm a lousy label, so I still haven't given enough support or credit. So as we do the Greater Cause, I'm still super excited about the Grafting, and has many very important songs to me, including the Grafting, Only Men, Gravity, The Face of God. There's just so many different songs on that record that really haven't had a chance to be heard yet, because I just haven't done that great a job of getting information out yet.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to balance the business side with the writing and the lyricist side of the music industry. Another caller wants to know about how you have brought forth the theme of grace in the songs that will be going on the Greater Cause. That's an interesting question. Thank you for that, caller.
Yeah, absolutely. I have not concentrated on grace that much, only because I feel that grace is so important, and I feel like it's being taught in church so well that sometimes there's other parts of our faith, and that is action. And I feel that this album probably is a little more active oriented than just grace. Grace is just the love of Christ. I mean, that should be understood. But are there songs that are just totally grace oriented? Not in this album, no. Probably more in the Grafting than the Greater Cause.
I love that. Another caller wants to know, amidst all the awards that you have won, from Grammys to Doves to your induction in various Hall of Fames, how do you stay centered on Christ and not glorify yourself?
Very simple. These awards have been nothing but keys to me. They've opened up doors that would have never been opened before. I have a vision. I have a focus. Ever since I became a Christian and I got this second chance of being on stage in front of so many people with a band like Petra and a message that changed my life, you got to understand, it is an amazing thrill to be able to use a music style that you love and be able to sing about a topic that you love. Few people get that opportunity, and I have been just so inspired and so excited about what God's allowed me to do that I've never, again, these awards are great, but really they've opened up doors that would have never been opened before if it hadn't been for them.
Here's another caller who wants to know, John, if you can give some advice to budding young musicians who are trying to break through. And the more specific question is, if they've written a great song and they've got an opportunity to kind of let it go and let some other recording artist sing it, is it better to let go of their work and let the word of their inspiring words go through some other recording artist versus through their own voice?
That's a good question. It all depends on where they want to be in the system. Do they believe in themselves? Do they believe they have a future as an artist themselves? I believe the artist is going to always deliver their own song better than anyone else. Because they wrote it, it's their heart. Usually, the writer, if he's capable, is going to probably present his song better than anyone else could. Now, many will argue with that. That's just my heart. If they feel they have a future, I would save every song I've got. But on the other hand, if it's a financially a good thing for them, and they feel like it's a door opener, hey, sounds like a great idea too. So I'm sort of hee-hawing around here, but it all depends on the circumstances and what they feel is right. If it opens up a door that they feel is going to be beneficial for them later, I guess you can say, well, I'll always write another song. A lot of people say that, but again, it's just it's really up to them.
Thanks for that. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. I'll take one more caller. They want to know if you have taken a shot at writing a more updated wedding song because they're tired of hearing this.
They're tired of hearing love?
Yes, they don't want to hear the Peter, Paul, and Mary version anymore.
Well, if they haven't used Love from Petra, that's a beautiful song. Inside of You off of Shake, I think that's a very uplifting and I believe a wedding-type song. Oh, my gosh. Actually, the song that I'm writing for my wife, that may be exactly what you're looking for. So please keep an ear out and see if that would work for him.
I love it. John, thank you for joining us on Life Lessons. You are a real kick. We appreciate your where your priorities are and the journey you've gone through, and we appreciate your comments about your wife, and that's where we really learn about the heart of our guests is truly through their relationships. And what you said about your wife being very trustworthy and, your best friend, your good friend, and the importance of relationships. We appreciate that. That makes you very endearing, and we hope that you'll join us again and keep us posted on the progress of your latest initiative, The Greater Cause.
We know I will, Rick. Thank you so much for your time, buddy, and your interest. And I certainly appreciate the opportunity to let folks know that these things are happening and exist. And, where my heart is, I thank you for that opportunity.
Well, you're most welcome. Folks, join us again tomorrow on Life Lessons Show. We'll be on twice tomorrow. And in the interim, remember these 3 easy-to-remember life lessons. Seek wisdom, touch hearts, and understand deeply. Have a great day.